All right, everybody, we are live with Stream of Consciousness with Dan. Today, I get to talk to someone whose work is woven into the story of Wisconsin in a way very few things are. Widmer's Cheese Cellars has been a part of the state's identity for over a century, and the person carrying that legacy forward today is a fourth generation cheesemaker, Joey Widmer. If you grew up anywhere near Wisconsin, you know the Widmer name. You've probably had their brick cheese at a family gathering, a supper club, or just straight off the cutting board. And what I love about this conversation is it's not just going to be about cheese, it's about heritage, craftsmanship, and what it means to inherit something that's bigger than you. Joey, man, thanks so much for being here. I'm excited to dig into your story. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
Well, I'd be doing better if I had a plate of Widmer's cheese on my desk, but I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking.
I
So I
just
kind
so
of
happen
want,
to have a I just so happen to have a fresh bag of cheddar cheese curds that were taken out of the vat about an hour and a half ago next to me.
wow, thanks for rubbing that in. We're off to a great start. Oh my gosh, your cheese curds are so good. Uh, so yeah, so like we kind of talked about before we started recording, you actually grew up living above the cheese factory there in Teresa, Wisconsin. But did you always know that you would, carry on the family legacy, or did you have any other aspirations, or was it always just, I'm just going to carry this legacy on?
Didn't always know that I was going to carry on the legacy. I interests, including the outdoors and just being outside in the outdoors and stuff like that. So I had explored opportunities, but the cheese this is an option. It doesn't have to be an option, but it definitely is an opportunity to carry on the family legacy. Um, my my parents never made me feel like and of me because it's not something that you want to force. It's something that you want to naturally come back to. Um, and then I think if you want to do something, it'll show up in your work. Whereas if you're forced to do something, you know, it it's not gonna show up positively.
Oh, absolutely. And I sincerely apologize, but you cut out for like 20 seconds in there.
I probably said something really important. No,
No, so could
where
you
did I
just
cut?
answer that question one more time? So I'll just I can cut all that
Yeah,
out, so no big
yeah,
deal. So yeah, so I just
yeah.
wanted to ask, you know, your father, your grandfather, your great grandfather are all, cheesemakers. You're living above the factory. Just talk about, was that always something you wanted to continue, or did you have other aspirations?
Yeah, so I didn't always uh I didn't know right away if I wanted to take over the cheese factory or not. But it was always an option. Um, my parents never made me feel like I had to take it over. In fact, they were very supportive of me trying other things and getting experience elsewhere before I made my final decision. And I really appreciate that opportunity. So
No, absolutely. And it's just, uh, I kind of wanted to ask a silly question because, like I'll go to the fridge and get some cheese, but like you walk downstairs and you can get the freshest cheese in the world. So I'm just like, I'm super jealous of that because I honestly think, and I'm not just saying this because I'm interviewing you, Widmer's cheese is arguably the best cheese that I've ever tasted in my life.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Um,
We definitely take pride in making the best possible cheese, in high high quality, highest quality.
and so I guess where does that pride come from? I know your great grandfather immigrated from, I believe it was Switzerland, if I recall.
Yes. So my great grandfather, John Widmer, came over from Switzerland in 1905 when he was 18 years old. And in order to come over, he had to get a visa, and he had to have a job lined up, uh, in order to come over. Um, and apparently, he had taken an interest in cheese making in Switzerland while he was there, while he was growing up, because Switzerland does have a very rich cheese making history. So he got a job as an apprenticeship cheesemaker in Switzerland, or I'm sorry, in Wisconsin. And that would have been in Greenwood, Wisconsin, which is kind of north central part of Wisconsin. Um, and he worked there for a while, and then he ended up getting a job at a plant in Kekoskee, Wisconsin, which is about 10 miles from Theresa, Wisconsin, where our current plant is located.
Oh, I see
And
Kukoski. Yeah, I've got the map up right now.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty close. But they they taught him how to make brick cheese at this Kekoskee plant. Uh, so that's where he learned how to make the first cheese and the cheese that we're uh, known for, the brick cheese.
Yeah, so since we're talking brick cheese, I need to talk about the bricks because
Yes.
I watched the Luke Zom episode where he came and kind of toured your plant and did a little feature on you guys, which I thought was awesome. And I've actually interviewed Luke, so that's really cool. But what's the story behind the bricks and why you think it's important to keep using mainly all of those same bricks?
Yeah. Well, brick cheese was invented in Wisconsin in the 1870s by another Swiss immigrant named John Yassi. Um, and he invented the brick cheese in Dodge County, the same county where we make our cheese. Um, and the reason it's called brick cheese, so you pour the curds and whey get poured into a cheese form, and at that point the curds are about the size of, if you're familiar with cottage cheese curds, they're like the size of those same curds with
Mhm.
whey, liquid whey, and then you take a brick, put it on top of the curd, and it presses it into a block, and it presses out the excess whey, and it also knits the curd together into a block. Um, so that's how brick cheese got its name, and a lot of people don't know that. Um, so we're still using the same bricks, some of the same bricks that my great grandfather used when he bought our plant in 1922. Um, we're grandfathered in by the state to use those bricks, um, and we find that it's a part of our story and our heritage. Um, we're the only factory that I know of that still uses the bricks to make the brick cheese. There
Oh,
are other
wow.
factories making brick cheese, but they're just not using bricks. And I think there are two reasons for that. One, it makes it very, very labor intensive,
Mhm.
because when we make a full day's production of brick cheese, we're making 500 loaves of 5-pound brick. So you're having to move these actual bricks to press the cheese, you know, 3 times, and they're 5 pound bricks. They're not light. Um, the second reason would be, um, you know, if you're mass producing, making cheese in large batches, which a lot of factories are nowadays,
Mhm.
um, you know, it's just not economical or ergonomical really to be moving uh, a ton of bricks around. So, but
No, that's a
like I
great
said,
point.
we make cheese. Yeah, yep.
I was just gonna say,
So yeah, we
I
make.
might skip around. I just wanted to say why you're choosing to still do it that way,
No
rather
problem.
than uh, as you said, you can do things, more economically. There's so much more technology, but why do you think it really adds to just the authenticity, or why do you choose to stay so true to, what true brick cheese means?
Yeah, I think definitely to preserve the authenticity of the cheese making process and how that cheese was invented. And then, like in our case, when you become the only factory that left doing that, it's like, why at this point, after 103 years, should we change it? Because it's gotten us this far, and now, you know, people are amazed. Uh, you know, they actually, you know, come to our retail store to see the brick cheese being made, and I think it's important to preserve that history. Um, and you know, I think when you're making smaller batches like we are, it makes a better product. You can tell the higher quality, and you know, all the cheese makers, including myself, we know exactly what's going on through every step of the process, and we can make small tweaks here and there to help with the quality and flavor of the cheese. So, you know, I think that's just important. Um, you know, the bricks made it through to my generation, fourth generation. And I think, you know, why not just keep preserving that legacy?
Oh, I absolutely love that. Like I said, it shows. Again, I'll say it again. I'll say it 100 times throughout this episode. It shows your cheese just. And Wisconsin is full of great cheesemakers, and that brings me to my next question, actually. Um, just kind of the camaraderie between, dairies or creameries or cheese shops. Like, is it a competition? Is it supporting each other? Or just kind of how does that look like? Because I think obviously it really resonates with Wisconsin culture is, your kind of cheese shops. So can you just talk about, supporting other cheese shops, or are you trying to beat the other one, or do you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, yep. Well, yeah, there's definitely a lot of camaraderie between all the cheese makers, and there's also a level of respect and understanding. And I think that we all kind of lean on each other as well. You know, certain times, I definitely have mentors in the cheese industry that I've reached out to with questions, and I've never really been turned down um, for advice. Um, and I've also had cheesemakers reach out to me, but it's a very friendly, um, you know, arena of cheesemakers. It's not like we're cutthroat competition. There is
Hmm.
competition. I mean, you do want to make the best product better or the best cheese possible, but I think that that makes everybody better because you know if you don't have any competition, then there's no real desire to try to be better.
Hmm.
And I think
Absolutely.
we all understand that. So it's always good to have a little competition because it raises your quality. Um, you know, that being said, we also all the cheese factories, we all have a little bit different product to offer or a
Hmm.
different story to tell. You know, different. There's a lot of history within the cheese factories and cheese makers in Wisconsin. A lot of them are generational. a lot of them are third, fourth, fifth generation. There's also some new cheesemakers that have come out, that they weren't born into it, and I give those guys a lot of respect too because it's hard to start um, a small factory nowadays, um, and have that much appreciation for it, where you basically start with nothing. So yeah,
Well, that was a great answer. I love that because uh yeah, competition just breeds improvement and
it
yeah, you're
does.
always
Yeah.
it really just does. So I'm going to step away from cheese for a second and just talk about Wisconsin in general, because obviously I'm from Wisconsin, you're from Wisconsin, all my family's from Wisconsin. I bleed green and gold, Green Bay Packers, Wisconsin through and through. But what does being from Wisconsin mean to you?
Um, yeah, I take a lot of pride being from Wisconsin, and I love it here. I love culture. Same with you. I bleed green and gold. I'm a huge Packers fan, um, and I just like the culture and everything about it. Um, we have every season, all 4 seasons. Sometimes you don't know what season it is between winter and spring, or between fall and summer. But at some point, you will get that season to the extreme. Um, like a month ago, we had below zero, and this week we were in the 60s. So that's just Wisconsin for you.
Oh yeah,
Other than that,
oh, I was just gonna say I couldn't
everybody's so
agree more.
sorry.
I was just gonna say I couldn't agree more because
Take the
weather-wise, we went through the same thing. It was 70 degrees on Tuesday here, and today we're expecting 3 to 6 inches of snow. So it's, oh man. But no, what? So what I like to tell
it was
people about Wisconsin. Oh no, go ahead.
oh, you first.
Oh yeah. So I was just gonna say what being Wisconsin for me, what it means is we have immense pride in ourselves and in our crafts, regardless of what that is, but not to the point of arrogance. Like we just have so much pride, but it's not arrogant. And everyone is just always so nice. Like they coined the term Midwest nice, and it's not a throwaway. You really, everyone supports each other, cares about each other. It's just such a state that, relies on kind of what our country was built on, agriculture and um, just hard work. So I don't know if you resonate with that at all, but that's kind of what being Wisconsin for me means.
I was definitely going to use the term Midwest nice. Um, that's yeah, that's a big one for me. And I would say hard working. They we take a lot of pride in our culture. You know, not just cheesemakers, but other professions as well. And I think really you can trust. Maybe leave your maybe don't leave your house unlocked for a week, but definitely small town communities where people rally together, um, and you just feel comfortable with your neighbor. So
Yeah, well, that is amazing. So I think I'm going to do one more segment and then I'm going to give you your surprise. So we're going to get back into cheese
okay,
and you don't need to give me all of your family secrets or anything, but for someone who has no idea how to make cheese, can you just kind of define the process? Because it's just wild how you can take just these simple ingredients and get so many different kinds of cheeses. So if you could just kind of give me a little cheese making 101 without, like I said, giving away any family secrets.
Yeah. Well, from a basic level, you you need the first thing you need quality milk. Um, and some cheesemakers do mix different flavor, and then from there, you
Joey,
can
real quick, you were
basically
cutting
you can
out.
do a raw milk cheese. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So first, the main ingredient is milk, and you want to use high quality milk. Um, you can use cow, goat, sheep uh, milk. Some cheesemakers do mixed milk cheeses, um, and they all have a little bit different flavor. Really depends what you're going for. And from there, you can either do a raw milk or you can pasteurize the milk. Most people are doing pasteurized milk nowadays. And then from there, you select the type of culture that you want to use for your cheese variety. Different cheese cultures are going to give a little bit different flavor variations. There's different bacteria, like I said, different cultures, but really what the culture of the milk itself. And then from there, once you add the cultures to your vat of milk, um, you add an enzyme, most commonly rennet. There's animal rennet that you can use, but you can also use like a microbial rennet or fermentation produced chymosin rennet, which is derived from the animal rennet. But what the enzyme does, what that rennet enzyme does, it coagulates the milk um, after dropping the pH, and then so basically at that point, um, your vat of milk when it coagulates, it's like gelatin or like Jello almost. And from there, you can cut the curd, and most commonly you cut the curd with wire knives, and most commonly half inch to a quarter inch. Um, so the larger curd size, the more cheese you will have by a rule of thumb. The smaller the curd size, lower moisture. And
Oh, okay.
only, like I said, those curds are like a quarter to a half.
All right, so are you ready for your curveball?
Um, and then cook it in the vat, and then you um, drain rectangles. You can do 40-pound blocks. There's some cheddar manufacturers that make 640-pound blocks, more geared towards ingredient cheese. But you'll see more of the artisans doing smaller blocks, or like 20-pound wheels or 10-pound wheels of cheese. So, and then get into refrigeration. You can also cure the cheese. Some cheeses get brined in a salt brine. They can be brined. Some Italian cheeses are brined up to 48 hours. Whereas like a brick cheese like we make, that gets brined for about 8 hours. Then from there, you can cure the cheese even further. So you can do an aged cheddar, age that out for 10 years, 10, 20 years. Or you can do like a washed rind cheese where once it gets out of the brine, goes to a curing room and you add other culture bacteria, which gives it a surface rind, or you add some type of mold, like blue cheese, or like camembert. You're basically putting some type of mold on the outside surface of the cheese to get it to cure further. So that's basically cheese making in a nutshell.
Well, you're making me hungry. Uh,
Yeah, hopefully I didn't
um,
confuse anybody with that process. So
no, but I think it's really important to, and like, you make it sound so simple, but it's also just the attention to detail, the measurements, things like that, that
there's a lot of
written.
little stuff that goes
Mhm.
into it on a daily basis that can the difference between a good cheese or a great cheese really comes down to, like you said, the attention, the small attention to detail.
Yeah, and I see that because like I'll go to, for example, we have Hy-Vee. I'll get a block of Hy-Vee cheese and it tastes fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But then my parents will come down with maybe a block of brick from you or maybe Carvalli or one of the other um cheese factories in Wisconsin, and I'm like, this just blows that crap out of the water. Like it's not even close. So,
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely taste the difference as well. And some of the bigger manufacturers, you can tell the difference between them or a smaller producer.
mhm,
And you know, I think it definitely goes to the quality piece of smaller batches and higher quality and more attention to detail um, over quantity produced. So
mhm. Well,
and
are you
and I
ready
think
for, oh, go ahead.
I think cheese making is if you're making small batches like a lot of small artisan places are in Wisconsin, it's an art as well as a science. And I think if you treat it that way, um, it'll enhance your cheese. If you look at it in that regards, you'll do such a better job of making your cheese, and have more respect for the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so I was just, before we get into your curveball, I did want to mention my late grandmother because the Widmer brick was her favorite cheese of all time. And I remember going to the plant with her and my family, and she just lit up like a light bulb. So I just wanted to kind of mention that because that, as a young kid, that really sticks in my mind. So I just wanted to share that real quick.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I'm
Um,
happy that we get to be a part of people's fond memories and those shared experiences with loved ones. And when they think of those experiences, you know, they either they relate it to our cheese, or eating our cheese takes them back to those shared memories. So thanks for sharing that.
no, absolutely. So, all right. It's finally time for your curveball. It's a segment I do pretty much with most of my guests. It's just called Mount Rushmore. So we're gonna do Mount Rushmore of cheeses.
Okay.
So we're just going to kind of riff back and forth on just our favorite types of cheese. Obviously, I know what you guys do, but uh yeah, just talk about, your top four cheeses. So I don't know, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Whatever you prefer.
I'll go first. And
Okay.
again, I'll
Okay.
say it. Again, I'll say it. It's brick cheese, whether it's from you guys, which makes the best, but just brick cheese in general. I think it's just so versatile and delicious. You can eat it just, cheese curds. You can eat it by the slice. You can melt it. It's used in Detroit style pizza. It's honestly, I think, the best cheese in the world. So that is my number one is brick cheese. Easy.
You want me to go with my number one now?
Yep.
Okay. I would say my own cheese, but I don't want to be that guy. So, um, let's see. Velveeta. No, I'm just joking. Velveeta does serve a purpose, but that's not my number one cheese. I would say like a Swiss Gruyere. Um, I've had
Mm.
some really good. really good cheese, and I really like that the Gruyere, the flavor. It's almost like a cheddar, but it's not. Um, and I've had uh, you know Gruyere from Switzerland, and I think that might be my top cheese. But
Also,
really, I really like a lot of different cheeses. Um, so that's uh, that's what I'm gonna say my number one is today.
I respect that because we use the Gruyere in, I make a croque monsieur, and that is the
Okay,
perfect cheese for a croque monsieur. So I completely appreciate that. My number two is actually kind of a little bit of a dark horse. It's just Munster.
okay.
I just like Munster cheese. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just very good on just a simple deli sandwich or even mixing it in a little bit in a mac and cheese or something. I think a Munster is kind of underrated.
Yeah, and it has a great meltability too. I mean, it makes a good grilled cheese, or I shouldn't say good, a great grilled cheese. It would be good on a burger. Um, a little bit uh, higher moisture, so that's why it has better meltability. Higher moisture, higher fat. So I would agree with you on that. That's a good cheese. Um, we started making a butter case a couple years ago. That's kind of similar, not
Joey,
the
you
same. It's
stole my
different.
number three.
Oh, well, that's where I was going with number two because that number two is now the butter case that we started making. Not just ours, but I've had other variety, other companies butter case as well, and I think that right now is my number two cheese.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to adapt
You can
because that
you
was my that I'm gonna put Buttercase, just agree, and I'll pick another because
okay.
I I was never actually exposed to it ever, and my mom and dad came down and brought some Buttercase, and I was like, oh my God, this stuff is incredible.
Did they bring ours or
I don't know what brand they brought, but it was just eye-opening, so delicious.
yeah? So actually, I didn't know a lot about butter case. I think I knew of it, but I never really consumed any or tried. I probably tried it here and there, but somebody kind of said to me it was kind of a mentor. 2020. Like we're
Joey, can you hear me? Hello. Joey, can you hear me?
Hey, Dan.
Hey, we definitely lost you there. I
Hey,
don't know if you're going through some up and down hills or something.
sure why. It shows all four or all five bars, and it says 5G. So, yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but and I'm
Yeah,
not
so
sure at what point you lost me, but I went on a rant
just
about
start
butter
back
case.
on the
So,
butter case. Yeah, start back on the butter case.
yeah, so yeah, butter case. A mentor uh, suggested that, they said, "Have you ever made butter case before? I think that would be a good fit for your factory." And I'm like, "No, we never made butter case. I don't know a lot about it, um, but I'll definitely look into it." So started looking into it. Next thing I was calling the University of Wisconsin Center for Dairy Research. They're a great resource for cheesemakers in Wisconsin, and they throughout the United States. Actually, they help a lot of people. Um, so I reached out to them. They came to our factory in, I think, March of 2023. We made a trial batch of butter case, and from there we kind of tweaked the recipe on our own. Got the cultures that we wanted to use, and then, like I said, tweak the recipe. And next thing you know, butter case. So we're 3 years into the process. We've won a couple of awards already. So yeah, I think butter case is kind of one of those overlooked cheeses. Um, Basically, it's a very rich, creamy, buttery cheese. Pretty mild, so it appeals to a lot of different palates.
Oh,
Um, Great cheese for melting,
I couldn't agree more.
higher fat. Yeah, yeah. So that's why it's in my number two spot. So we do a plain butter case, one with chives.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, that sounds good. A little bit of a kind of bite to it as well to kind of offset the buttery creaminess. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. The smoke goes well with the butteriness. So
Well, like I said, you already stole my number three, so way to go.
yeah, there's a viral video going around right now with or a video that went viral on social media. Basically, people are putting butter case on their sweet potato. I don't know if you've seen that at all.
I don't know if I have, but I'll definitely look that up.
Yeah, we shared it on our social media, and I don't know if it's a coincidence, but since that video went viral, and it's more than one person posting it, but one person started the trend, if you will. Um, I've noticed our butter case sales have gone up considerably. So, don't know if that's part of it. Probably helped. So, thank you to whoever invented that. I haven't tried it myself yet. I do like sweet potatoes and I do like butter case, and I do think it probably would be a decent combo.
I might need to experiment with that this weekend.
I think you should.
Oh, I might do that. So, like I said, well, you already stole my butter case. Um, I'm just gonna actually go mozzarella. I think it's just cheese in its purest form. It's again, I'm not a cheese maker, but it just, like I said, it's just the freshest, purest cheese. So I'm just gonna go mozzarella. It maybe sounds a little
Yeah.
lame. I don't want it to be a cop out, but there's nothing
No, I mean,
better than a fresh ball of mozzarella.
no, I've had fresh mozz before, and it's yeah. You can taste the freshness. Uh, and yeah, it's one of those cheeses that it has a lot of different uses, and a big one is pizza. I mean, the
Hmm.
main cheese on pizza is mozzarella. So yeah, but also many other different uses. So
Absolutely. So do you have two more or one more? I can't remember.
I think we're on are we Mount Rushmore. So what are we, three, four, five? So
I think you're on
I
three.
definitely I'm on three. Yep. So I'm just gonna say it's kind of a broad category, but I'm gonna say like a Alpine style cheese. Um, and that might be too broad of a category, but we make a Matterhorn Alpine style cheddar. So it's our original cheddar recipe, and then we use cultures that would be associated with an Alpine style cheese. Um, and that's definitely in my top three. So I'm gonna say it's my third favorite.
All right. Well, I have to skip to four, like I said, because Buttercase was on my three. I'm going just Colby. Just
Okay.
just a simple Colby cheese. Again, it's great on sandwiches. And I think, if I recall, was that actually invented in Wisconsin? I can't remember.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Invented in the invented in the village of Colby, Wisconsin. Yep. Not too far from where you grew up, actually, in Chippewa Falls. I mean, well, maybe it's farther than I think, but it's kind of in that area.
I'll pick up my
But yeah,
map here. But yeah, I
uh,
just love it. Just a nice Colby. You can do Colby Jack. You can do whatever. I just love a good Colby cheese.
yep, you can do, yep, peppers. You can do vegetable seasoning. You can do caraway. Caraway Colby's got a good flavor. We make a caraway Colby.
Oh, yeah, it's out there, just south of Abbotsford.
Yep, yeah,
So yeah, I'm just gonna go Colby. You can't go wrong with a good Colby.
you can.
All right, you got one more, and then we're gonna keep going.
One more. I'm gonna have to say brick cheese.
Well, duh.
Yeah, I have to have brick in my Mount Rushmore because brick is what we're known for. And I don't. It's not just in my top four because of that. I would say, uh, it's very versatile. So you can eat it plain. You can make a awesome grilled cheese. You can put it on a burger, uh, lasagna, pizza. The list goes on. So, and you can also
Abs-
make an aged brick, which is the original type of brick is the washed rind European style, which is kind of like a completely different cheese than the mild brick.
it's a lot funkier, isn't it?
It's a lot funkier. It's a cousin to Limburger, not nearly as strong, but um, it is similar to Limburger with the aroma and the flavor, but not quite as pungent. And that really goes into the art of the cheese when you're getting trying to get that the surface rind on the cheese because the make process is basically the same up until the point where it comes out of the cheese brine, and then when it goes into the curing room, that's where we're adding these different culture bacteria to get the surface rind on the cheese, um, hence making aged brick. So,
Well, I think
but
we've
most
got a
people
great.
today are, yeah,
Oh, I was gonna say, I think
we
we
have
have
a
a
good
great
list.
Mount Rushmore. Yeah. Oh, can I just like teleport to Teresa right now? Gee, many Christmas. Uh, so again, that was a lot of fun. So looking ahead, obviously we've talked about wanting to stay authentic and sticking with tradition, but is there anything, you're kind of pursuing, I guess, or to grow your business or just anything you're really excited about? I really just want to give you the floor to talk about where you think Widmer's is headed in the future.
Yeah. Um, well, my shout out to my mom and sister. They put a lot of work in to get us into the National Historic Register or National Historic Register this summer. Or it
Oh,
officially is
awesome.
the National Registry of Historic Places. Um, so if you come visit our retail store in Teresa, so there's a couple different pronunciations of our village. It's Theresa or Teresa, whatever you prefer. But the correct pronunciation is probably Teresa. I get that question a lot. What's the correct pronunciation? Well, it's named after Solomon Juno, I believe his daughter. So Teresa would be the correct one. Anyways, if you come visit our retail store, um, you'll see a plaque out front when you before you walk in that says National Register of Historic Places. So that's pretty cool.
That's
Um,
no, that's not pretty cool. That's really, really cool.
yeah, so we're very proud of that. Um, and I think we've preserved the those old techniques of cheese making through 100 years and through 4 generations. And we've also preserved, the building and all those little cheese making techniques that go into how we make our cheese. So I think, you know, that's kind of the goal is to stick with that tradition. And we want people to come to our, sorry if you can hear my dog in the background
Oh, that's
growling.
okay.
Um, we want to stick to those true cheese making methods and traditions. Shh. And
Oh, she's
you know,
fine. That's actually makes it
yeah,
even better that I heard that.
I think I think that's what we're known for, and that's what we want to continue to do. Now, I also want to look into making other varieties of cheese or experimenting with certain cheeses, like we came out with the butter case, a couple years ago. But I think it's important to also, you know, always have those in your back pocket. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, that's great. So before we sign off, I want everyone listening to know where they can purchase your cheese. Obviously, if you're in the Wisconsin area, head to Teresa directly to their cheese shop and buy as much cheese as you can fit in your car. You won't be disappointed. But for people like me in Omaha, Nebraska, do you offer shipping options, or what's the best way to get our hands on your cheese?
yeah. So, if you go to our website at www.widmerscheese.com, there is a where to buy on the website, and that'll kind of give you a general list of stores in whatever state you're from. The other option is we do ship UPS to anywhere in the United States. Um, and we offer all of our cheeses online on the website. You can go on the website or you can call the order in, whatever you prefer. Um, so yeah, a lot of specialty cheese stores carry our cheese in different states throughout the United States. We make 4 different varieties, so you know some might have the bricks, some might have cheddar. I always tell people, if you're looking for a specific uh, variety, if you're looking for brick or cheddar under the Widmer brand, um, you might it might be best to call the store ahead of time and say, hey, what Widmer's cheese do you have available? And if they don't have what you're looking for, maybe mention that they should start to carry it. So
Well, awesome. Well, I appreciate your time so much. We ended this perfectly, exactly 1 hour. Um, so yeah, before we wrap up, I just wanted to thank you so much today, uh, to talk about your craft, what it means like to be from Wisconsin. And for all my listeners out there, these conversations really remind me why I love doing this show, getting to sit down with people like Joey who carry on traditions that truly matter, who put their heart into their craft, who keep Wisconsin's story alive in their own way. So if you've enjoyed this episode, as Joey said, please make sure to check out their website. Uh, buy all of their cheese. I 100% guarantee it will blow you out of the water how good it is. And again, Joey, thanks so much for being here. And we will sign off from Stream of Consciousness with Dan. We'll see you next time.